Well, the president has been focused for 4 years on jobs and the economy and growing and strengthening the middle class, and you're going to hear about that tonight. He's going to present a clear economic vision and focus on things like manufacturing and infrastructure, clean energy, and the kinds of education policies we need to make sure that we have the strongest possible workforce ready for the jobs of the future that we're creating in this economy. Well, the president and the vice president have already put forward a proposal. There's 23 executive actions on things like mental health and school safety that the president has already acted on. But there still is a need for Congress to act on things like background checks, high-capacity magazines. So you will hear him mention that tonight. But the focus of the speech is really going to be about growing and strengthening the middle class, about creating jobs and creating the strongest possible economy. Well, through mechanisms like investing in manufacturing, investing in research and development, the president likes to say that we've always been the country that comes up with the best ideas and then that turns those ideas into action and manufactures the things that we then sell to the rest of the world. That requires investing and making sure that we're investing in the kinds of things that will drive the economy forward into the future and that will build on his record of creating 6 million jobs in the last 33 months. We need to continue on our path to create jobs, to do it at an even faster clip. That means things like manufacturing and infrastructure and investments in clean energy. Well, the president has put forward not one but three, on three different occasions, proposals to cut the deficit by $4 trillion. So his plans in this regard are really quite well known. What he's going to be proposing in his speech tonight is all stuff that's going to be paid for. He is focused on making sure that we are doing what's necessary to grow the economy, create jobs, and make sure that we have the strongest possible middle class because that has always been the engine driving this economy forward. Mhm. The president has been ready for a long time. As I mentioned, he's put forward proposals not once but three times to cut the deficit and to cut spending. He has a live proposal dating back to the holidays that's still on the table for discussion with folks on both sides of the aisle. But the problem here is that March 1st is going to come, and unless Congress acts, we're going to see dramatic cuts in programs that people in the country really depend on. Things like Head Start, things like treatment programs for adults who are mentally ill. These kinds of programs are tremendously important, but the president has put forward a plan that allows Congress to delay these kinds of cuts and to make sure that we are investing in a conversation that can allow us to cut spending in a responsible way. And the president's ideas and his plans are quite well known. We have to make sure that we have this conversation in a way that's responsible, that's balanced, that puts us on the right track to go forward and build the economy as we should. The president has put forward cuts into entitlement programs that are done in a responsible way. His point here is that it needs to be balanced, that we cannot renege on the commitments that we've made to seniors, for example, but he has put cuts on the table. He's prepared to have this conversation in a responsible way, and we're looking forward to a constructive conversation with the Congress to make sure that we do this in the right way, in a balanced way, and in a way which continues to invest in the middle class and making sure it's as strong as possible. Yes, absolutely. The president gave a major speech on immigration reform a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas, and he's placed the immigration reform issue squarely within the context of his economic agenda. If we're going to be first in the world in innovation, if we're going to continue to create jobs and grow the economy, we have to have an immigration system that works. We can't afford to have a broken immigration system anymore. So he is working with a bipartisan group in the Senate that's proposing immigration reform, and he's going to insist that we get this done. This is part of the business of the American people. We're very encouraged that there's a bipartisan process developing to get this done. Well, we certainly hope so, because that's what's in the best interest of the American people. The president has spoken about this numerous times, and he will continue to address it tonight. He continues to believe we can do this in a balanced way, in a way which protects the middle class, in a way which responsibly cuts spending. But in order to do that, we have to have a bipartisan conversation. He's ready and willing to do that. Well, the White House issued a statement this morning after we heard about the nuclear test, and I think what's unfortunate about this is that it's something that really challenges the whole international community. It further isolates North Korea, and at the end of the day, it doesn't accomplish anything towards making sure the North Koreans can, feed their people and move forward in a constructive way. So it was a very disappointing event, and it further isolates the North Koreans. Well, many, many states are actually, including states with Republican governors and Democratic governors, are moving into partnerships with the federal government to set up the marketplaces in their state, which then people will be able to participate in order to purchase health insurance if they don't have it already. So we're actually quite pleased by the progress that we're making, working with a variety of states. In 2014, each state either will set up itself or have the federal government set up a marketplace with a variety of options for people who don't have insurance so that they can purchase health insurance that's affordable. We're looking forward to that day. It's an exciting moment. And the collaborative relationship that we have with the majority of states in this country is very encouraging.